Alright, hello everyone, and what I've got today is a backpack that is from a company called Greenwald Brands, and there's a big claim here, and they claim on their website that this is the last backpack you'll ever own. So let's go ahead, not really an unboxing, but more of an unbagging. Let's open this up here, and first impressions are this does not feel like a traditional backpack. So this is like a synthetic feeling rubberized material. You definitely get a feeling that this is centered around being waterproof. So let's go ahead and check it out. So right away we're greeted with this front pocket that is kind of see-through. And if you notice here, all the zippered connections have these little rubber flaps in them, so these should all be perfectly watertight. They've even got like a little cubby that the zipper tucks up into, which is kind of cool. We got a couple spots up on the front here for carabiner clips, or you know, if you're going to hang like maybe a solar panel or whatever. Let's open up the main compartment here. And you'll see we've got all sorts of compartments here, and right on the front we've got a zipper connection. We've got like a padded area for like a laptop or whatever electronics you have. And this whole thing is actually removable, which is kind of cool. So this is just like extra padding with a little zipper on it, held on by Velcro. And then inside we're left with kind of like a little netted area. Hopefully you can see in there, with another zippered area. So you could just use it like this, or you can throw this in, Velcro it down, and away you go. Other thoughts here are padding. There seems to be quite a bit of padding on the back. As you can see, you've got quite a bit in the lower back and then in your upper shoulder area. And we also have a hand carrying loop here. We've got adjustable straps, as you'd expect. And this is actually a pretty good size here, so I'll hold it up. Very good size. And I think the next thing we should do here is actually test out the claim that it is perfectly waterproof. So it appears like it would be, but let's go ahead and do a little test. Alright, so as you can tell, I think you know what's going to happen. We've got a tub full of water here, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and put a few things I've got laying around. I've got my nice Oregon temperature sensor there. I also have my video camera that I use, so I'm going to dump this in. I've never tried this backpack out before, but I've got those two items in there. I'm going to go ahead and zip this up. And I'm going to really go ahead and trust this claim here that this is fully waterproof. So again, we've got that tightened up pretty well. Looks like we've got a good seal, and let's go ahead and dump it in. So right away here I can tell it is kind of floating, so if you were to drop this in the water it is completely floating. But let's go ahead and just get it good and wet. Probably wetter than just about anybody would be getting this. You'd basically have to be swimming with it at this point. I'm going to flip it upside down, let it fall, give it a good shake. It's getting all the seals wet, so I want to test out that zipper, and there we go. So it is drenched. I'm going to go ahead and empty the water out. The one interesting thing to note here is that this type of material, since it's almost like a rubberized type feel to it, it is actually just shedding the water right off. I don't know if you're able to see that, but it's not sticking to it at all. On the back side, It's a little bit different of a story. This padding is, you know, a little bit absorbent. So I could see if your back gets wet, or, you know, if it is raining, this part here is definitely going to remain wet, you know, until you can wring it out or let it sit out in the sun. So everything else is looking good so far. Let's go ahead and see if I still have a camera and my outdoor temperature gauge. Alright, so I'm going to dry my hands off just so I can tell if it is actually dry. Okay, and actually it is wet in there, so a little bit of a problem. This camera, I don't know if you can see that, that's a problem. So let's go ahead, open it up. Alright, now luckily that little protector I had around it kept the camera itself dry, but I would consider this more of a water resistant. This is drenched. So you can see that. Definitely, if you're gonna submerge this, expect whatever's in it to get wet. So as you can see there, it was actually wet on the inside. Puddled up water. So I would say this would be a backpack that would be able to get wet. I would not, however, submerge it. So I'm not going to go swimming with this or pretend to be a Navy SEAL or anything crazy like that. And I think what you get here is this front pouch is going to be a little bit more waterproof, I'm going to say. You can kind of tell here if it's raining. It has a little drip cap here that's actually going to keep the water from going over the zipper. I think where you have the problem as far as full submersion is at this joint here on the main zipper. So when it's completely down like that, there's a little bit of a gap. So just something to be mindful of. This you know, appears to be a great backpack, but I did want to fully test that, you know, as far as completely submerging it into water. It I'm sure would do a great job as far as just rainwater, but as far as actual submerge into water, I would not recommend that. But yeah, overall a great backpack. It feels good on the back. It can hold quite a bit of stuff in it. Definitely a good sized laptop, bunch of equipment. But definitely on the bathtub test, I would say don't submerge it. Thanks for watching. Please subscribe. Have a good day.